As word of Adaugo's enchanting presence spread throughout the village, men from far and wide began to flock to her doorstep, each one hoping to catch a glimpse of her radiant smile and bask in the warmth of her gaze. From the young bachelors who dreamed of winning her hand in marriage to the seasoned elders who sought her counsel, they all longed to be near her, drawn like moths to a flame by the promise of her beauty and charm. Once upon a time, in the heart of a vibrant village, there lived a woman whose presence was as captivating as the golden rays of the sun at dawn. Her name was Adaugo. She was a vision of beauty that seemed plucked from the dreams of men and the envy of women. Adaugo's allure was legendary, her curves the stuff of folklore whispered among the villagers as they gathered around the communal fire on starlit nights. With each step she took, her hips swayed like the gentle rhythm of the village drum, drawing the gaze of every man, woman, and child who crossed her path. But it wasn't just Adaugo's physical beauty that set her apart. It was the aura of confidence and self-assurance that surrounded her like a shimmering cloak. She moved with the grace of a queen, her laughter ringing out like the melodious notes of a songbird in the morning breeze. As word of Adaugo's enchanting presence spread throughout the village, men from far and wide began to flock to her doorstep, each one hoping to catch a glimpse of her radiant smile and bask in the warmth of her gaze. From the young bachelor who dreamed of winning her hand in marriage to the seasoned elders who sought her counsel, they all longed to be near her, drawn like moths to a flame by the promise of her beauty and charm. Yet, despite the adoration of her many admirers, Adaugo remained elusive, her heart guarded by the walls of her own independence and self-reliance. She relished in the attention, enjoying the thrill of the chase without ever committing to anyone. But while Adaugo may have revelled in the adoration of her many suitors, she was not without her detractors. Some whispered behind her back, casting judgment on her for flaunting her body so shamelessly, while others envied her allure and sought to tear her down out of spite. Yet, through it all, Adaugo remained unapologetically herself, her spirit unbroken and her confidence unshakable. She knew that her worth was not defined by the attention of men or opinions of others, but by the strength and resilience that burned within her soul. And so, as she continued to grace the village with her presence, Adaugo did so with her head held high and her heart full of determination, for she knew that no matter what the world threw her way, she would always be the one in control of her own destiny, a force of nature to be reckoned with and a woman to be admired for generations to come. As Adaugo's reputation as the most desirable woman in the village grew, so too did the intensity of the men's desire to win her affection. They devised elaborate schemes and competed fiercely for her attention, each one determined to be the one to capture her heart. Among the suitors was Chukwudi, a handsome young man with a heart as big as the field he tended. He would spend his days toiling under the scorching sun, his mind filled with thoughts of Adaugo and the hope that one day she might return his affections. Then there was Obinna, the village blacksmith, whose muzzle rippled beneath his sweat-soaked shirt as he hammered away at his forge. He would often serenade Adaugo beneath her window, his deep voice carrying across the village square like a melody on the wind. And let us not forget Ikenna, the wealthy merchant, who showered Adaugo with gifts of gold and silver in a bid to win her favor. He would flaunt his wealth and status, hoping to dazzle her with his opulence and charm. But despite their best efforts, Adaugo remained resolute in her independence, refusing to be swayed by the advances of any one man. She treated each suitor with kindness and respect, but made it clear that her heart belonged to no one but herself. Yet, as the days turned into weeks and weeks into months, the pressure on Adaugo to choose a husband only intensified. The villagers watched with bated breath as the drama unfolded, eagerly awaiting the moment when Adaugo would finally declare her intention. And so, the competition among the suitors reached a fever pitch, with each man vying to outdo the others in a bid to win Adaugo's favor. They showered her with compliments and gifts, wrote her poetry and sang her songs, all in the hopes of capturing her elusive heart. But as the days stretched into nights and the months turned into years, Adaugo remained steadfast in her resolve. She knew that her worth was not measured by the numbers of suitors who vied for her affection, but by the strength and independence that burned within her soul. And so she continued to grace the village with her presence, her laughter ringing out like a beacon of hope in the world filled with uncertainty. As the competition among the suitors intensified, so did the lengths to which they would go to win Adaugo's heart. Chukwudi, the diligent farmer, began leaving baskets of freshly harvested fruits and vegetables at Adaugo's doorstep, hoping to impress her with his hard work and dedication to providing for her. Meanwhile, Obinna, the village blacksmith, crafted intricate pieces of jewelry from molten metal of his forge, each piece more beautiful than the last. He presented them to Adaugo with a humility that belied his strength, hoping that she would see the depth of his feelings reflected in the shimmering gold and silver. And Ikenna, the wealthy merchant, spared no expense in his pursuit of Adaugo's affection. He showered her with lavish gifts and extravagant display of wealth, hoping to dazzle with his opulence and charm. Yet, despite their best efforts, Adaugo remained unmoved, her heart steadfast in its resolve to remain independent and free. She appreciated the gesture of her suitors, but knew that true love could not be bought with gifts or won through competition. As years passed, the suitors grew more desperate in their pursuit of Adaugo's affection, their once charming gesture now bordering an obsession. They followed her every move, vying for her attention at every turn, their determination fueled by a relentless desire to possess her. But Adaugo remained resolute, her spirit unbroken by the relentless advances of her suitors. She knew that her worth was not defined by the attention of men, but by the strength and resilience that burned within her soul. And so, as the sun set on another day in the village, Adaugo stood tall and proud, her head held high and her heart full of determination, for she knew that true happiness could only be found within oneself, and that no man could ever possess the beauty and power that resided within her heart.